Tuscaloosa against Alabama. And oh, by the way, if you get out of those games, you are at home versus Michigan, you're at home versus Texas, you're at home versus Auburn, you're at home versus LSU. Holy hell. Yeah, so yeah, if you only lose 2 games, you should be in the college football playoff with that schedule. Absolutely, 110%.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason I like them, though, dude, is, I mean, they got to win. If they don't, Venables is done. That is a tough schedule, though. Michigan, Texas, Bama, LSU, they face all of them. But I don't know, man. I think Mateer could be really good. I mean, last year, granted, it was at Washington State. Him and Ben Arbuckle, who also comes over. He's the OC from Washington State. He comes over to help fix the Oklahoma offense. In 2022, when he was at Western Kentucky, that offense was top 10. Last year, him and Mateer together had the 6th most productive offense in the country. They averaged nearly 37 points per game. Mateer threw for 3,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, ran for another 15 touchdowns. Like I said, tied for the lead in the nation with 44 total. Also rushed for 826 yards.
Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. Do gurgling pipes, the fear of a leak in your basement, or an AC unit that sounds like a lawnmower keep you up at night? Become a member at Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling and have the comfort of knowing you have a technician on call to bring total comfort to your home. For only $8 a month, you get up to a 10% discount on all plumbing and HVAC services, 1 annual free mainline snaking, 1 annual inspection, and so much more. Call Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling and become a member today.
Can't lose at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
This is Kelsey Mitchell, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Kelsey in the first half, 8 points, although not as efficient as usual. 3 for 10 from the field. 1 for 2 from 3. 1 for 3 at the free throw line. Fever trailing 47-36 here at the break. Back with Bria Goss, John Nolan, Eddie Garrison, our producer in studio. Bria, what'd you take away from the first 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was a weird flow to the game right now. Not a lot happening on the offensive end, only scoring 36 points. You already mentioned Kelsey Mitchell, who isn't having her normal game from the field, but playing some really good defense. Of course, you have Sophie Cunningham, who's getting in there, getting some really big buckets and some good plays, going not only to the basket, but that 3 ball is just on point as she gets 3 for 4. 3 for 4, and then 4 for 5 from the field. So that's all good. Howard, who is chipping in 7 points, she's kind of having a quietish game, but that last 3 ball definitely helped. And then, of course, Aaliyah Boston. We want to see her not only get more touches, but put the ball in the bucket as well. I think she's doing a great job on defense. She's on AT, who only has 10 points. We know that she can go off. We know that she is a magician with the ball as well. I think AB is doing a really good job containing her, so we want to continue to have that effort, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, Thomas, who has the most triple-doubles in WNBA history, including triple-doubles in back-to-back games in the first half with 10 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals in that plus-minus column. She's plus 14, best in the game. For the Fever, literally every player who appeared as a negative plus minus. That kind of half here as Indiana's down 47-36. Let's take a listen back, though, to some Fever highlights from the first half. 9-2, the Fever down 2 minutes through. Boston left arc dribble handoff. Kelsey, rise and fire. It's good. And the Fever are down 11-5. McDonald driving baseline, crosses over on AT and scores a reverse layup. What a take by Airy. Mitchell now inbounds from the near sideline to Airy up top. She feeds Damiris Dantas to Kelsey between the rings. Shot clock at 5. Airy guarded by Thomas. Launches over her. Ricks it. Offensive rebound. DD. And she banks it in ahead of the shot clock horn. 15-10. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Screen left from Cunningham. Now a pass to Sophie right wing. Passes left elbow. Howard. Skyhook is good with 1 second to go in the quarter. And it's 30-16. McDonald by everyone down the floor. Passes right wing. Sophie catch and shoot three is good. Bonner shoots a right wing three. Over holds short. Rebound Cunningham. Sophie looks to push. Fever at their best in transition. Sophie pulls from the left side. Got another. McDonald's right arc. On the bounce. Sends it to AB. Top of the key. Kelsey back in. Mitchell, long two, right side. Front rim, no. Boston offensive rebound. Reload. Sophie wants three. Give her three. Cunningham's cooking in Phoenix. Right elbow jumper for Akoa Makani. Misses to the left. Rebound AB. Touchdown pass to Sophie. She dribbles. She lays it in. And a foul. Thomas between the rings. Shoots a step in front of the foul line. Good off glass. 47-33. 3.3 to go in the half. Tosh from half court. It's good. At the half in Phoenix. Fever down 47-36. Well, here on a night when the Colts dropped their preseason opener in Baltimore 24-16. That result, though, doesn't matter. What does matter is that Colts came away from that game with some injuries, including to Anthony Richardson. So more coverage of the Colts, of course, coming up not too many hours from now down the dial. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan with the morning show starting at 7. Of course, you got Query and Company, produced by the great Eddie Garrison at noon. JMV, Drive Time. Everyone will get you set tomorrow. By the way, the Fever will be back at Gainbridge Fieldhouse Saturday night, 8 o'clock game against the Chicago Sky. Still staying on this pattern here of game, day off, game. Right now, wrapping up this 4-game road trip in Phoenix and down 47-36. We'll step aside, come back with more halftime coverage from PHX Arena. You're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
The Indiana Fever trust Ortho Indy as their official orthopedic provider, and so can you. From game-time injuries to everyday mishaps, Ortho Indy Urgent Care is your fast, affordable alternative to the ER. Walk in, skip the wait, and see an orthopedic expert. No appointment needed. Injuries happen. Ortho Indy is ready. Find a location near you at orthoindy.com. Ortho Indy, trusted by the pros. Here for you.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
What's the hottest ticket in town? The Indiana Fever. The best way to get there? Indigo. Catch the fever by catching the bus. Indigo's MyKey acts as your fast break pass to experience high-octane Fever basketball, all while avoiding parking fees and traffic jams. Playing your Fever game night with Indigo. Visit indigo.net/how-to-ride to plan your trip and get connected to MyKey. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the game. Indigo, the best way to catch the fever.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
I'm Lynn Dunn, Senior Advisor to the Indiana Fever. I've seen the power of women who lead, at home, on the court, and in life. If you think your child may be showing signs of autism, trust your gut. Early detection matters. Don't wait, don't wonder. Visit daymar.org today. You'll find answers, support, and a team that walks beside you. Every child deserves a chance, and the right assist can change everything.
Hey, I'm ordering dinner. I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through October 31st, 2025.
Here's Clark. She fires.
Stay in the know while you're on the go. 93 WIPC. WIPC HD1 Indianapolis.
This is Natasha Howard, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Halftime in Arizona, Fever down 47-36 against the Mercury, who started tonight tied with Atlanta, but Atlanta already in the win column against Chicago, so Phoenix technically a half game back there. They're in fourth, 18-11. Fever a game back at 17-13, or I should say a game and a half back, and currently in fifth place. But of course, the Fever have Seattle and Las Vegas on their heels. So crowded standings and the WNBA with about a month to go in the regular season. Believe it or not, yeah, about 2/3 of the way through the 44-game calendar. Fever in the first half here shot 40% from the field. They were actually better on their threes than their twos. They were 5 of 12 from three-point range, 41%. Sophie Cunningham hitting 3 of those. Just 3 for 6 at the foul line. Phoenix shot 46%. They were 35% from 3, also made 5 on 14 tries. And the Mercury 4 for 4 at the line. So Sophie leading the way with 12 points. Kelsey had 8. Natasha Howard with 7, including the buzzer beater, 3 from half court. And if you don't follow the team on social media, then maybe you don't realize that they take half court shots every time they have a practice leading up to a game, whether day of or day before, whatever the schedule may be. So then the perk of that is you get $100. I don't think $100 exchanged here for Tasha in this situation, but the Fever need every point they can get. Down 47-36. Third quarter next. Back with Bria. You're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment to recognize U.S. Foods, a proud sponsor of the Indiana Fever. At U.S. Foods, quality is their top priority. From sourcing the finest ingredients to delivering exceptional products, they are committed to helping customers succeed. Whether it's in the kitchen or on the court, they support the highest levels of excellence. Thank you, U.S. Foods, for your dedication to quality and supporting our team, who's also driven to be the best. U.S. Foods, we help you make it.
When it comes to your education, WGU helps you stay in the game. Whether you're working full-time, raising a family, or juggling both, WGU's online accredited programs help you earn a degree in business, technology, education, or healthcare on your schedule. You can even score your degree faster by taking tests and turning in assignments as soon as you're ready. Join the thousands of students across Indiana who are making big plays for their future. Learn more at WGU.edu.
Hey fans, Sophie Cunningham here. If you have private student loan debt and are behind or even in default, you gotta call my friends at YRefi. YRefi refinances private student loans that others won't touch, and they provide you with a custom loan payment based on your ability to pay. And YRefi does not care what your credit score is. Just give them a call at 888-YRefi-34. That's 888-YRefi-34. Or go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com.
Better Water starts with a free water analysis from C&J Water, proud partner of the Indiana Fever. From hard water solutions to pure, great-tasting drinking water, C&J Water is committed to helping you enjoy better water in every glass, load of laundry, and shower. Schedule your free water analysis today at cnjwater.com and discover how much better your water can be. C&J Water, local, trusted, and the choice of the Indiana Fever.
Did you know up to 50% of outdoor water use is wasted? And did you know that there are things you can do to help change that? Indiana American Water suggests that you water early or late in the day to reduce evaporation. Also, be sure to fix any leaks and skip watering when rain is in the forecast. Consider rain barrels, mulch your garden, and use drip irrigation for your plants. Be water wise. Conserve today, sustain tomorrow. Find more conservation tips at Indiana American Water's Wise Water Use Resources at indianaamwater.com.
With engineer Walter Ellis. And again, here it's National Purple Heart Recipient Day. We want to extend our thanks to the Vietnam vet. And with Bria Gossov, John Nolan, third quarter underway now in Arizona. Fever in the white uniforms going left to right. And Lexi Hull gets the start this quarter. Sophie will come off the bench. AP has it left elbow driving. Fouled on the way up. Will shoot two. Foul against Natasha Mack, the 6'3" post for the Mercury. And AB will shoot two on the right side, the end that has the championship banners for both the Mercury and the Suns. In the case of the Mercury, that's 3 WNBA titles, 2007, 2009, and 2014. First free throw good. For Phoenix, in the NBA, just 3 Western Conference championships. 76, 93, and 2021. Believe it or not, the Mercury, one of the original 8 franchises in the WNBA, now one of just 3 of those still existing.
Yep. You know, the great Diana Taurasi, who just went into retirement, played here all her career and what she did for the game.
Yeah, second free throw good for AB. Fever down 47-38. Alyssa Thomas, right elbow jumper, too easy. Fever, it makes sense not to guard her at the arc, but you can't sag off of her at the foul line. She drains the jumper. It's 49-38.
Yeah, she has that push shot, and she's very comfortable with it right now.
Mitchell at the left elbow. Step back, shoots over Copper. Too strong. AB knocks it out of bounds. Phoenix ball. Almost a minute into the third quarter. Indiana down 49-38.
And you're right. Just to reiterate, they are sagging off, but when she starts taking a dribble towards the basket, we got to press up a little bit.
By the way, we get a look on the TV broadcast. This game on WTHR Channel 13. Sophie Cunningham now has a brace on her right ankle. Another push shot for Thomas from the foul line. This one misses to the right. Rebound for Tosh. Tosh at half court doesn't shoot it this time. Hello. Passes to Ari on the right wing. Ari exploding towards the bucket, and she's fouled by Sabali. Will shoot two with 8:40 to go in the third quarter. Sabali doesn't like the call. Ari in attack mode. Ari grew up in California, but after starting her college career at Washington, there was a coaching change there. She then transferred to Arizona. First free throw, too strong. Sheesh. Fever as a team, 77% from the line on the season. Ari individually, better than 80%.
Yeah.
But now as a group tonight, they are 5 for 9. Second, also back rimmed it. So multiple times now the Fever have come away empty-handed, 0 for 2 at the line. 49-38, 90 seconds into the third quarter. Sabali left block. High arcing shot over Boston falls. 51-38.
I think she's a little surprised that that went in. That was almost a layup, almost a floater, but no backward situation.
AB just outside the top 10 in blocks in the league this year. Boston in a crowd in the purple paint. Triple team, quadruple team, moving with the ball, and a jump ball is called. Got to be something there. It's either a travel, a foul, or a jump ball. They go with jump ball.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, she was in there for a while, and then they decided to swarm her. But every time AB gets the ball, there's 3, maybe 4 purple and orange jerseys being thrown at her. Respect.
Boston will jump it right foul line against the 6'1 guard Copper. Ball in the air. And McDonald's good box out of sorts. Mitchell wins the 50-50 ball. Lobs it, short corner right. Tosh jabs, drives baseline on Mac. Shot clock violation. 51-38. Fever down about 2 minutes into the third quarter. here in this building that seats 17,000. Originally opened in 1992. Big renovation around 2020. Not at capacity. Funny enough, all 4 games on this road trip, really the first time all season where we've seen buildings with sections of seats open. Left lane drive for Akoa Makani, no good. Rebound, Boston. Kick ahead, Kelsey, right sideline with a burst towards the left elbow. Long 2. Too strong. And a rebound for Alyssa Thomas. Thomas, shovel pass, Mack, runner right lane, good off glass. Biggest deficit of the night for Indiana, trailing by 15 with 7.5 to go, third quarter. McDonald splitting traffic and a foul called as she drove into the purple paint. 7:24 left, third quarter, 53-38. Good news here, Sophie back in, replacing Lexi, but something to monitor for as well as Sophie shot in that first half. I think it was on the and one drive that she had, where she came up limping a bit.
Yeah.
Sideline out of bounds to Mitchell near the right elbow. Ball poked away. She regathers, tosses to Aerie, to AB at the foul line. 8 on the shot clock. Aerie catch and shoot 3. Brick from the left wing. Got to check the air pressure in these basketballs. As now Copper is called for an offensive foul as she knocked Tosh around the throat on the drive-by. 7:08 to go, third quarter. Tosh was reaching in, and Copper caught her with a right elbow. It was inadvertent, but nevertheless a foul.
Right. Definitely in the motion of, when she had the ball, her arms were just swinging as you naturally do when you run, and just came up a little too high.
Your friend Veronica Burton got called for a flagrant foul in a situation like that last night with Golden State.
I had to call her, see if she was all right.
Sophie, long 3, right wing. It's good. Cunningham continues to cook, and now an offensive foul is called against Copper, who tried to push off against Sophie. You can't do that. 6:49 left in the third. It's 53-41. Fever down a dozen, but Sophie's going off.
Man, it's just the team is deep. When one player might not be there, 2 players not be there, they have 3 or 4 to come back. And right now, it is all Sophie Cunningham.
That was NBA range, right wing. Fever trying to rally. Sophie gets it, short corner right. Post pass, right block. AB, spin move, offensive foul is called. Oh, come on. The Phoenix players are saying that it should be reviewed for a flagrant. 6:35 left in the third quarter. And the officials are going to the monitor. It was the 6'3" Natasha Mack who fell down on the play. Fever down 53-41. And the officials are going to go to the monitor.
Was her elbow? Her elbows were down, right? It was when she had the ball, she had it set. She took a couple dribbles to back down. When she turned, it's not like her elbows were out to her chest. It felt like they were down to the side. Waiting for a replay here, but
I know there's understandably the sensitivity for contact from above the shoulders. Previous play is currently under official video review. So 53-41, Fever trail. And we're keeping it here according to the clocks in the arena, not a media timeout. We'll see if we can get a look at the TV broadcast again. It's on WTHR Channel 13, also nationally on Amazon Prime. So AB left block. I mean, it's just a strong post move.
Yeah.
With her shoulder, she turned into Mack. I can see it being an offensive foul, but I don't see an upgrade here.
Yeah.
And the officials are talking, now communicating to the scorer's table. After official video review, the ruling on the floor stands. Yeah. And I agree. Credit where it's due. The officials only needed like one look at that.
Right.
To deem that it was nothing.
Right. Which, again, I think that was right. Even the review, just to see if there was any foul play, like, that's fine. But the fact that they didn't take a long time out of it, thank goodness. That was an easy one to call.
By the way, there's still one more meeting between these teams. It'll be here next month, September 2nd.
My birthday. It'd be nice to get a birthday win.
Hopefully you can avoid injury on your birthday road trip. Unfortunately, Sydney Colson, no laughing matter, out of the game with a left leg injury after her birthday yesterday. Team had a nice dinner to celebrate. Had a dinner in L.A. too. So they got that going for them, which is nice. Sabally now back to it. Bricks a jumper to the left. From the top of the key, rebound Fever. Sophie, left wing, transition triple. Oh my goodness! Got another! What a return to Arizona for Sophie Cunningham. Timeout Mercury with 6:09 to go in the third quarter. Sophie's doing her best Caitlin right now. 5 of 6 from 3. Leads all scorers with 18 points. And she does it with a big smile. Breaking the action. Thanks to Sophie, the Fever not done yet. Trailing 53-44. 6:09 to go in the third. You're listening to Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Watch party? Score big with catering from Chicken Salad Chick. From tailgates to team celebrations, we bring fresh, flavorful chicken salad inside straight to your event. With 12 crave-worthy flavors, there's something for every fan. Order your game day spread at chickcatering.com. Proud sponsor of the Indiana Fever.
From buzzer beaters to buzzbait and cornhole to canoes, Academy Sports and Outdoors has all you need to find your fun. And when fun's the goal, anything is possible. We're here for pre-game gear-ups, camping trip do-withouts, and days when the best things in life happen right outside your back door. Swing by your local indie stores in Avon, Westfield, Greenwood, and Bloomington for the top brands in the game at undefeatable prices. There's no match for fun, and fun can't lose at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with Healthy Indiana plan benefits, we help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining health insurance.
This is Jeff Wheeler, business manager of IBEW Local 481. We power the moments that matter most and provide the tech that makes it all possible. From the schools where your kids learn and the healthcare facilities that care for your loved ones to the excitement of every big game, IBEW Local 41 is at the heart of it all. Whether it's game day or every day, our union members ensure everything runs smoothly. IBEW Local 41, proudly powering your community.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
We're down 53-44, under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Phoenix ball going right to left. Natasha Mack near the Fever bench. Shot clock ticks down to 6 as Alyssa Thomas spins at the right elbow and knocks down a push shot. 55-44. Mercury score after their timeout. Ari McDonald attacks towards the foul line. Work it left corner. Sophie fires a three. Why not? There's a heat check in Phoenix. Had been 5 for 6 from 3. Already has a season-high 18 points. This time, Thomas misses the push shot from the foul line, and a player pushed on the floor, Natasha Mack. Foul on the Fever. With 5:23 to go in the third quarter. Indiana down 55-44. A few subs coming into the game for the Mercury, including Delana Bonner. Foul called on Boston, by the way, her fourth.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I don't know. I think that was just a hustle play after the ball, after a tough block out.
And unfortunately, it's been a frustrating night for AB, who's got just 2 points coming from the foul line. And she comes out of the game. KK Timpson comes in. KK had a couple of rebounds in 7 first half minutes. Copper left elbow to Thomas, who spins in the paint on the rookie, banks it in. 57-44 as Thomas now has 16 points to lead the Mercury. Mary McDonald speeds into the paint. Shovel pass Tosh. Misses to the left. Rebound Thomas. Outlet to Copper. Catches in stride near the left elbow. Her shot deflected by Kelsey. Bonner gets it. No good. Sticks with it and scores, and then jaws at the Fever bench. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Tawana Bonner speaks to the media post-game tonight. To this point, has essentially said nothing in regards to why it didn't work out for her after she elected to sign with the Fever as a free agent. But tonight, she has been vocal and demonstrative. Fever down 15, largest deficit of the game being matched here. As now the Fever turn it over, and Bonner wildly throws a pass out of bounds towards the fans in the front row right sideline. Fever ball with 4:27 to go in the third.
Man, every time the Fever start creeping back, the Mercury go on another run here. So that's what the timeouts are for, to refocus, to regroup, to get back out to playing ball. But we dug ourselves in such a hole. We spent so much energy coming back.
No Caitlin. No depth. Sydney out injured. Sophie playing through a potential ankle sprain. Sophie has it. NBA range, right side, shot fake. Now dribbles to the corner. Thomas aggressive defensively. Thomas on her. Sophie trying to shield. She gets doubled. Copper comes in. Sophie's laughing about it because she knows that Phoenix players right now are going like 110% at her. 4 on the shot clock as it'll be a jump ball. The veteran Whitcomb, savvy, indicating that it should be jumped at midcourt rather than at the foul line. That will be the case.
4 seconds on the shot clock. You got to get it and go.
And 4:07 to go in the third quarter. Fever down 59-44. Sophie jumping against the 6'1 Copper. And Phoenix winds up winning it anyway. Bonner at the midcourt logo. Floats a pass to Thomas, right perimeter. Thomas loses the handle. It's a steal for Tosh. Flash goes behind the back, but then stolen by Copper. Numbers right now for Phoenix. Whitcomb left wing 3. Front rim, no. Thomas chases after the offensive rebound. No look feed, right corner. Westbell 3. Notre Dame alum who grew up in the Dayton area extends the Phoenix lead to 18. Timeout Steph White. With 3:44 left in the third. Fever had won 5 in a row right now. In danger of dropping 2 in a row.
Yeah, it's tough, especially with Phoenix with so much emotion in the game. We beat them at home. This is somewhat of a revenge game staple for them. So they're definitely coming out and feeding off of this energy. There's so many people here.
Yeah, Phoenix, they've had a phenomenal year.
Yeah.
Quite impressive considering how this is a new era for them. Yeah. Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi had been pillars for them for so long. Taurasi retiring. Griner signing with Atlanta as a free agent. So the Mercury started the season with only 2 returning players. We thought the Fever didn't have a lot coming back. Mercury had even less. Yes. Only Copper and who else was it for him? Only 2 players coming back, though, out of the 12 on the roster.
Yeah.
And yet, here they are, 18 and 11. If they win tonight, they'll stay tied for third in the standings behind only the teams from the championship series last year in Minnesota and New York.
Yeah, and they play so well at home. That was part of the pregame conference of Steph White. They play phenomenally at home. They shoot it better. They have more energy. They're 10-4 at home and 8-7 on the road. So definitely a big difference. But that's how much it goes to when you play home. It's a different type of feeling.
You felt that way over the course of your career?
Absolutely. That's why, I mean, playing overseas basketball, there's nobody in the crowd that you have a connection to. So when I had my family or friends come over, it was that much more special.
Natasha Mack also a returner, by the way, for Phoenix. Fever ball here out of the timeout, down by 18. 3.5 to go, third quarter. Dantas hit off the bench, handoff to Mitchell. Pass right wing, Lexi for 3, short. Ball tipped around and won by Copper. Unfortunately, Lexi 0 for 4 from the field in this game on all threes. Slump for her. You know she'll bounce back, though. Thomas backing down Timpson, draws a foul as she misses off the back of the orange iron. 2 free throws coming for Alyssa Thomas. Thomas really is a special player. How about this one? Right now, on track to become the first ever WNBA player to average at least 15 points, at least 8 rebounds, at least 9 assists, and at least 1 steal a game, while also shooting 50% from the field or better. Knocks down the first free throw. League leader in assists, 9 a game, ahead of Caitlin even. Even when Caitlin was healthy and playing. Thomas sinks the second also. Even in the history of the NBA, there have been only 3 players who've had a season like this. You've heard of them before. Magic, LeBron, and the Joker.
Yep.
Mitchell rise and fire from the right wing. Clank no. Thomas gets the rebound in stride. Off to the races. Sophie steps in front. Pass goes left corner to Whitcomb. Timpson contains her. Nice transition defense by the Fever, who trail by 20, 64-44. Whitcomb outside the arc up top for 3. Got it. 67-44. It's turned into one of the toughest games of the season for the Fever. Kelsey jump pass. Lexi right side 3. Still can't get one rebound. Whitcomb. Outside of Sophie Cunningham. Really no one performing well tonight for the Fever, while the Mercury have several standing out. Whitcomb this time driving. She knows teams want to pressure out on her, so starts the drive, gets tripped. 2:16 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games. Again, going back to fatigue, but being on the road, the travel, getting in it.
Now, for what it's worth, the Fever did fall behind by 22 in L.A. a couple nights ago. And then remember, they had a great comeback bid, got it down to a 2-possession game with about 2 minutes left. Ultimately, though, fell short.
Yeah.
See if they can pull off something similar in Arizona. Half court on the left side for Phoenix. Westfeld, left post, lost the ball, now on the floor, fighting for it with Dantas, jump ball. Only 1 on the shot clock for the Mercury. 2:02 to go in the third quarter. So this should be a case of either the Fever win the jump ball or the Mercury get called for a shot clock violation.
Yep, there we go. And like you said, being down 22 just a couple days ago, the fight was there.
Jump ball 1 to Bonner, who took a fadeaway 3. It was short anyway, but the officials did call a shot clock violation. So 2:02 left in the third. Fever down 23. This has been a team that's been quite resilient. I think the word here would be, though, that they're tired, understandably. 5th game in 8 days in 5 different cities. Mitchell passes right corner. Lexi to Chloe Bibby. Shot fake, sidestep. Chloe for 3, can't hit. Offensive rebound, DD, and she banks it in. 67-46 with 1:40 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're not going to get it back all in one possession, so work the ball, see if you can get a good shot. If you can't, get that rebound.
Whitcomb between the rings for 3. Off to the right, Sophie corrals the carry. Cunningham with 18 points, passes right arc, Bibby looking for Sophie, deflected by Bonner out of bounds on the sideline. Who to go off of last? Sophie. Tough break right there. Bonner deflected it, and then it just grazed off a fingertip of Sophie. So the Mercury get it with 1:19 left in the third quarter. Big pop from the fans as Thomas gets a breather. 5 on the floor for the Fever right now. Mitchell, Hull, Cunningham, Bibby, and Dantas. Kind of an unfamiliar 5.
Yeah, especially with no Colson kind of getting them in the ring. Got to have another point guard on the floor.
Yeah, as McDonald's getting a rest. Koa Makani between the rings, guarded by Mitchell at the logo. Shot clock down to 7. The rookie from France picks up the dribble. Dantas tight on her. Westfeld heaves a 3. Air ball. Shot clock violation.
Not sure why they held it so long.
Yeah, it's a little bit early to burn clock.
Yeah.
More than a quarter to go.
For that shot, too. I mean, could have got that at any time.
Final minute, third quarter. Fever down 21. Bibby at the logo, pressured Mayakoa Makati, ball out of bounds off the leg of Bibby as it rolls over towards Steph White wearing a Fever navy quarter zip and black pants. So really a couple of unforced turnovers here for the Fever in this final minute of the quarter. Now up to 15 for the game. Fever for the season averaged 13 turnovers a game. Sideline out of bounds, deflected out. Mercury keep it. 45 seconds to go in the quarter. Phoenix has turned it over 12 times, which isn't great either. Already on their season average. Westbell between the rings, snaps it. Left post, Sabali, who caught it and was falling out of bounds to the baseline. They say because she was fouled by Bibby. Four fouls against the Fever in the quarter. Next one would be the bonus. They'll say Sabali was already in the act of shooting. So the lefty originally from Germany, although she moved to the U.S. for college, standout at Oregon, stands the first. 10th in the league in scoring, averaging 17 points per game.
Had been in Dallas most of her career and first year with Phoenix, so she misses that second.
It was short, has 13 points, 6 rebounds, a couple of assists tonight, as now Cunningham and Bonner get tied up in the backcourt. .36 seconds left in the third quarter. So Sophie was on the dribble. Bonner reached in, stole it, and then Sophie fouled her from behind. One thing with Sophie, though, is that, again, she does this with a smile, can laugh about it. It is the 5th foul of the quarter. What are they going to call this? A transition take foul? Officials are sending the teams to their benches. Now there's some chirping.
Yeah.
Sophie was literally like laughing as she committed the foul. But now Sophie then wound up, it looked like did have words for Alyssa Thomas.
Well, I thought it was Sabali.
Or maybe it was Sabali.
It was somebody. She's going to be heard. That's one thing. She will be heard.
So the officials are going to the monitor right now. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure why. Gives us a second to say thank you for staying up late with us here tonight. W After Dark.
Rolling on the floor is in a transition take foul. Has been charged number 8, Sophie Cunningham. The play is called under official video review for a possible clear path foul.
Reviewing whether it should be upgraded to a clear path foul, which would put Phoenix at the line and they would keep the ball. 36 seconds to go in the third quarter. Indiana down 22. Probably do have a good case for this being upgraded because just wound up being an awkward positional situation with Bonner stealing it from Sophie. And then that effectively was then just no one between Bonner and the basket. As Sophie sort of hugged her from behind.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a situation or as an overly hard foul. This was not the case of the game against Connecticut back in the spring when Sophie committed the flagrant 2.
Yeah, we ain't going to talk about that one.
Very different. That was against J.C. Sheldon, who, by the way, was traded today from Connecticut to Washington. So the Fever will be seeing her during the upcoming 3-game homestand that starts Saturday against Chicago. Mentioned that's an 8 o'clock game on CBS, and we'll have coverage for you back over on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan and the Old National Bank Radio Network. That homestand continues Tuesday night, 7:30 game against the Dallas Wings. Go to feverbasketball.com to lock in your seats. And then a week from tomorrow, 7:30 game against the Washington Mystics, who dealt Aaliyah Edwards to Connecticut.
After video review, the ruling on the floor has been changed. A clear path foul has been charged number 8, Sophie Cunningham. Brought up on the line, shooting 2.
So it does wind up being the situation here where Bonner is getting 2 free throws, and Phoenix will keep the ball. She knocks down the first, now has 11 points, so she has eclipsed her season average. Makes the second as well. I know one thing that, just really was tough to figure out about the Bonner situation was how In the first game of the season that went over Chicago, it was a situation at the foul line on the left side of the court where she made a couple, and that moved her up to third all-time in scoring. She got such a great reception from the Fever fans.
Huge.
And after the game, she seemed to be really touched by that. Right lane layup, no good for Whitcomb, but an offensive rebound. Bonner about 35 feet away, faked a three on the right side, gives it to Sabali, who pushes off on hole, no call. Sabali now drives, spins, forces it up, and now a foul called on Lexi with 12 seconds to go in the quarter, and the Fever down 70-46.
Second personal.
Yeah.
2 free throws for Sabali.
I don't know what they wanted Lexi to do there in that situation. I thought that was great defense as Sabali was creating the contact.
Sabali wearing bright orange sneakers. Part of the color scheme for Phoenix. Switch on the first. But anyway, still just so befuddling how it went from DB really appreciating that reception at Gainbridge Fieldhouse and then not wanting to continue playing for the team not long after.
Well, I thought it was strange for the simple fact being, I don't think anything happened. It just, she was cool and then she was really, really unhappy. There was no telling what happened in between that.
Both free throws good there for Sabali as now Kelsey draws a foul, taking a long 2 straight on with 3 seconds to go in the quarter. Fever trailing 72-46. And again, this is to some degree, can't chalk it up all to being a schedule loss because the Mercury are that good of a team.
True. I mean, they are
the Mercury challenging this call? Teams are again going back to their benches with 3 seconds left in the quarter. Officials head over to the monitor at the scorer's table down below us. We're coming to you from concourse level. Just about. Here at PHX Arena.
Monique Nicole McCartney, that's her third personal, 4th team foul. The previous play is currently under official video review for a possible hostile act.
Possible hostile act.
On who?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know they called the foul. They called the foul.
This is becoming more painful than it needs to be with the extended reviews. We get a look as Kelsey takes a long jumper up top. So on the release, so Kelsey's right hand made contact with Akoa Makani's head. So even though a foul definitely was called on Phoenix, they are reviewing to see whether or not there should also be then a foul, a flagrant one on Kelsey. I mean, it's just, goodness gracious, it's just the natural shooting motion that your arms are up in the air when you're shooting the ball. They have to come down.
Right.
And they might make contact with someone if they're on you.
And that was, again, normal motion. Just like the copper foul. Normal motion in running. Her arm just goes up a little bit too high. Hits Howard in the chops. And then you have this one where...
Oh, my gosh.
Kelsey Mitchell.
Well, I'll say this about the fans in Phoenix. Pre-game, and I'm not necessarily endorsing this, I'm just giving you an observation. When the officials were announced pre-game, around the same time that the teams were being introduced, the fans here were booing the officials before the game even started. Now, in this case, they're not booing. They're happy to see Duana Bonner get a technical free throw on the left side. That's good. And now Kelsey will get 2 free throws on the right side. It's 73-46. And what would this game be like if Sophie wasn't 6 for 8 from the field, as Kelsey now misses her 3rd consecutive free throw dating back to the first half. Really rough one here for the Fever, and adding injury to insults. Sydney Colson unavailable the rest of the game. 2nd free throw good. And the backcourt now, DB, long shot attempt, hits the back of the rim. That was from the backcourt after Tosh had made one from midcourt to wrap up the 2nd quarter. 3 quarters in the books, Fever trailing 73-47, the 4th. Coming up You're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
The Indiana Fever trust Ortho Indy as their official orthopedic provider, and so can you. From game-time injuries to everyday mishaps, Ortho Indy Urgent Care is your fast, affordable alternative to the ER. Walk in, skip the wait, and see an orthopedic expert. No appointment needed. Injuries happen. Ortho Indy is ready. Find a location near you at orthoindy.com. Ortho Indy, trusted by the pros. Here for you.
Hey fans, Sophie Cunningham here. If you have private student loan debt and are behind or even in default, you gotta call my friends at YRefi. YRefi refinances private student loans that others won't touch, and they provide you with a custom loan payment based on your ability to pay. And YRefi does not care what your credit score is. Just give them a call at 888-YRefi-34. That's 888-YRefi-34. Or go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com.
Hey, I'm ordering dinner. I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through October 31st, 2025.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call the 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. T&Cs apply.
What's the hottest ticket in town? The Indiana Fever. The best way to get there? Indigo. Catch the fever by catching the bus. Indigo's MyKey acts as your fast break pass to experience high-octane Fever basketball, all while avoiding parking fees and traffic jams. Plan your Fever game night with Indigo. Visit indigo.net/how-to-ride to plan your trip and get connected to MyKey. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the game. Indigo. The best way to catch the fever.
This is Brianna Turner, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Breezy, former member of the Phoenix Mercury herself, like Sophie Cunningham. Back here in Arizona, where Indiana trails 73-47. As we go to the fourth quarter, they turn the lights off. Fans have their phones out, flashlight mode.
Yeah.
Others waving their purple rally towels that
looks pretty.
Were on the back of the seats as they entered. That's pretty. Score not so much. Favor down 26. Mercury ball to begin the fourth quarter. Right to left. Whitcomb. Shot blocked by Turner. Breezy then snatches it. Cross-court pass gets it to Sophie. Sophie, transition triple, NBA range. Back iron, no. And the rebound for the Mercury. But yeah, Sophie, why not? It's been a special night for her. And now she defends. Sabally, right post. Sabally, turnaround shot. AB helping. No good. Offensive rebound goes to Sabally again. A miss, but it's out of bounds off the Fever.
We got to tighten up a little bit and finish this game. But one of the things about the Fever, when they're polished and they're focused and they're making crisp passes, we're hard to beat. And I just don't think that was there tonight. As we can't buy a bucket.
Shooting 35% from the field, one of the lowest shooting percentage games of the year for Indiana. Sabally, deep one right wing. Back rim, no. Long rebound, won by the Fever. Turner hands it off to McDonald. McDonald, left elbow. Step back, now fires. And it drops it. There we go. Rare one rattling in for the Fever. 73-49, 8:50 to go. Mercury in purple and orange, right to left. Sabally guarded by Boston, right arc. Whips it left side. Nicola McConney up top. Westbeld, her three, misses badly towards videographer near the stanchion. Subs for Phoenix. Kalia Copper and Alyssa Thomas back in. For the Fever right now, it's McDonald, Cunningham, Hull, Boston, and Turner, who's playing in her 15th game of the season. It's the team's 31st. McDonald maneuvers to the left arc. Between the rings, passes to Sophie right wing. Extra right corner. Lexi for three. Short. AB offensive rebound. And she puts it in off glass. 73-51.
Here we go. Start chipping away. Still plenty of time in this game. Let's see if we can make something shake.
I applaud your optimism. Down to 8 minutes to go, trailing by 22. Thomas at the left elbow, flips it out to Bonner near the Fever bench, guarded by Turner. Bonner give and go with Thomas, left to the rim, scoops it in as AB then, or DB rather, has something of a celly down the floor. Lexi right corner in front of the Phoenix bench, doesn't shoot. Fever work it right to left. Sophie, pass, Lexi, right wing three. Off to the right, rebound, Bonner. Probably becoming mental for Lexi here tonight. 0 for 7 in this game. And over the last couple of years has been one of the top shooters in the league. McDonald gets a steal, driving left to right, fouled by Whitcomb. Blocking foul with 7:22 remaining. Fever down 75-51.
Yeah, like you said, mental there for Lexi Hull. As we know, she's been a great shooter all season. Since it's the time to start doubting yourself. You know the work that you put in. You know the hours.
Oh, gosh. Now, Kelsey comes in for Aerie, who is seemingly limping a bit as she takes a seat. The assistant athletic trainer, Maria Woody, will check her out. Sideline out of bounds. Goes to Mitchell, knocked out of bounds. Fever keep it 16 on the shot clock, 7:15 to go. But Fever literally right now don't have a healthy point guard. Sophie inbounds to Kelsey. Kelsey crossing over right to left. Pick and pop, no one home. It's a steal for Thomas. Breezy hustles back on D. Thomas to Bonner. Long one, left wing. No good. And the rebound for Lexi. Outlet, right sideline. Kelsey, right around a Turner screen. Rise and fire. Nope. And the rebound for the Mercury. So the Fever as a team, 7 for 24 from 3. Sophie's got 5 of them. One of them was Tosh, the heave from half court to end the first half. Kelsey had made her first and has missed a couple since.
Yeah.
Copper right wing three, around and out. And Aaliyah hustling for the rebound. Out of bounds on the baseline. Mercury ball. As now Aerie is limping off the court through the tunnel behind the basket on the left side. So Caitlin out injured, Sydney out injured, Aerie out injured. 6:32 to go in the game.
Yeah, and Cunningham is a little limpy too, but she's overcoming.
Has a brace on her right ankle right now on defense, chasing after Whitcomb, who launches from the right wing, no good. Poked out of bounds, who's it off of? Phoenix. Fever ball with 6:20 to play, down 24. Fever 17-13 on the year. Most of the losses have been down to the wire. Unfamiliar spot here, trailing by a big margin. Phoenix was favored coming into this game, but of course not by such a disparity. Lexi, elbow, left side jumper, front rim, no. Although you like the idea, try to get closer. Her first 7 shot attempts were all from 3.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Especially when you're struggling from 3, you got to find other ways to score.
Thomas to a cutting Bonner with a circus shot underneath. And all Lexi and the Fever can do right now is kind of chuckle at it. As Bonner gets bailed out. She was underneath the basket. The probability of making that shot was quite low.
Right.
Now the officials are debating whether or not it's a shooting foul. Funny enough, everybody lined up because if it is a foul, it's got to be a shooting foul. But apparently one of the officials said no.
Timeout on the floor.
And a timeout is called with 5:59 to go. We'll take one with him. Fever trailing 75-51 in Phoenix. You're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Fever fans, get ready to bring the heat. It's game day and Chicken Salad Chick is here to fuel your fandom. With 12 fresh, made-from-scratch chicken salad flavors, pimento cheese, and egg salad, we've got the perfect meal for every fan. Dine in with us, grab a meal to go, or order ahead for pickup. With 7 local restaurants, deliciousness is always within reach. Chicken Salad Chick is a proud sponsor of the Indiana Fever. Visit chickensaladchick.com to order now.
Parents notice when something feels off. A look, a sound, a movement, a silence. Parents don't need all the answers, just the courage to ask the right questions. If a child may be showing signs of autism, early detection matters. Daymar is here to help with answers, support, and a team ready to help. Visit daymar.org today. Every child deserves a chance, and sometimes the most powerful move is to ask for help.
From buzzer beaters to buzzbait and cornhole to canoes, Academy Sports and Outdoors has all you need to find your fun. And when fun's the goal, anything is possible. We're here for pre-game gear-ups, camping trip do-withouts, and days when the best things in life happen right outside your back door. Swing by your local indie stores in Avon, Westfield, Greenwood, and Bloomington for the top brands in the game at undefeatable prices. There's no match for fun, and fun can't lose at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
When it comes to your education, WGU helps you stay in the game. Whether you're working full-time, raising a family, or juggling both, WGU's online accredited programs help you earn a degree in business, technology, education, or healthcare on your schedule. You can even score your degree faster by taking tests and turning in assignments as soon as you're ready. Join the thousands of students across Indiana who are making big plays for their future. Learn more at WGU.edu.
This copyrighted telecast of WNBA Enterprises may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise used in any form without the express written consent of WNBA Enterprises.
This is Caitlin Clark, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
In case you were wondering, pre-game, Steph White was asked for an update on Caitlin's status, and the update was that there isn't one. So Caitlin on the bench, remaining a supportive teammate, almost an extra assistant coach. Coming here out of the timeout. 5:59 to go in the game. Fever down 75-51. DeWanna Bonner shooting 2 free throws for the Mercury. First one, you heard it. And Bonner spending the majority of her career here in Phoenix. Played with the Mercury from 2009 through 2019 with the exception of just 1 year where she didn't play in the W.
Yeah.
Second one, you heard it again. 77-51, under 6 to play. Kelsey angling left, reach-in foul on Sammy Whitcomb.
The second personal, second team foul.
Fever up against it tonight. 5th game in 8 days, 5 different cities. Kelsey snaps it in to Lexi between the rings. To Demiris, right arc, dribble handoff, Chloe. Bibby, skip past Lexi from the left elbow, sends it Turner, left baseline, shot clock at 5. Pass up top, Chloe, 2 on the shot clock. Breezy, baseline jumper, air ball, shot clock violation. Right now the Fever have Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Chloe Bibby, Demiris Dantas, and Brianna Turner. Safe to say these 5 have never played together in a game, and there's hardly been any practice time of late with all the games and the travel.
Exactly, and they go to zone here because of it.
Copper beats the zone with a 3 in front of the Fever bench. And at this point, you figure Sophie resting just to stay healthy as Turner scores off a nice pass from Kelsey. Right post, 80-53, but prior to that, lead ballooning up to 29. Biggest deficit for the Fever, not only tonight, but I believe all season.
Yeah.
Starter still out there for Phoenix. Copper, same spot this time, in and out. Defensive rebound for Lexi. Fever left to right. Dantas, left arc guarded by Thomas. Triple threat, still scanning. Now puts it on the floor. D drive, dish. Turner right elbow to Lexi right wing to Demiris. Right baseline out to Kelsey left wing. High archer, back rim no. Lexi chases after the offensive rebound, saves it to Chloe. Gets it to DD, who lines it up. Back rim no. Breezy battling for the board, but it's won by Phoenix with 4:23 to go. Copper, right post, shovel pass. Bonner banks it in. 82-53 with 4:15 to go. So Bonner with 20 points. 2 off of a season high.
Yeah.
But you know she very much wants.
Yeah, she does.
She'll probably take a 3 soon enough. Lexi left corner, 3 over Copper. Nope. Breezy offensive rebound. Turner passes. Bibby right side 3.
That back iron is going to work.
Rebound Phoenix and a timeout called by Nate Tibbetts with 3:55 remaining. The Fever now 7 for 27 from 3, 25%. And everyone who isn't Sophie Cunningham is 2 for 19. Final media timeout with 3:55 left, and the Fever down 29 in the desert. You're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Better water starts with a free water analysis from C&J Water, proud partner of the Indiana Fever. From hard water solutions to pure, great tasting drinking water, C&J Water is committed to helping you enjoy better water in every glass, load of laundry, and shower. Schedule your free water analysis today at cnjwater.com and discover how much better your water can be. C&J Water, local, trusted, and the choice of the Indiana Fever.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with Healthy Indiana plan benefits, we help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining health insurance.
Hey, I'm ordering dinner. I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through October 31st, 2025.
Radio 1 is seeking a general sales manager to lead our sales operations in Indianapolis. The ideal candidate will bring a strong track record in sales leadership, team development, and revenue generation across both traditional media and digital platforms. This role requires a bachelor's degree and 2 to 4 years related experience and/or training or equivalent combination. To view the full job listing and apply, go to urban1.com/careers. Applicants are subject to a background check. Radio 1 is an equal opportunity employer.
Here's Clark. She fires.
Stay in the know while you're on the go. 93 WIPC. WIPC HD1 Indianapolis.
This is Sophie Cunningham, and you're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Sabally now back to it. Bricks a jumper to the left. From the top of the key, rebound Fever. Sophie left wing, transition triple. Oh my goodness! Got another! What a return to Arizona for Sophie Cunningham! Our electric play of the game, powered by IBEW Local 481. IBEW Local 481 proudly powering your community. Coming out of the timeout, sure enough, Tawana Bonner with a 3 from the corner in front of the Fever bench. Now is a season high 23 points, and the Fever trail 85-53. Half court on the right side in the white uniforms. Dantas tees up a 3, too strong, out of bounds. Phoenix ball. Hey, we'll give Bonner credit for this. Heck of a game for her.
Yeah, you got to give it to her. She balled out today.
Her fiance, Alyssa Thomas, has now had a 3rd consecutive triple-double as she's got 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. So we'll have to check. Has anyone ever had 3 consecutive triple-doubles before? Timeout Mercury. Now, I will say this. DB is just taking a moment to soak it in on the court. Last go back to the huddle. from what we know of Nate Tibbett, second-year head coach for the Mercury, a guy who grinded his way through growing up in South Dakota and being in the D League before it was the G League, seems to be well-liked, well-respected. Why are you calling a timeout with your team up by 32 points with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left? Unless you're kind of, I'll just say, rubbing it in.
Taking the moment.
I'm not sure it's the most sporting thing to do.
And they had subs coming in. They were getting ready to clear their bench. And so I thought it was just going to be one of those timeouts to get everybody in, but he's talking about it.
Tibbetts, prior to becoming the head coach here for the Mercury, had been an assistant in the NBA with the Magic. Before that, with the Cavs and the Trailblazers. Well, in any case, a reminder that it takes guts to win and the same courage to do work that changes lives. So join Damar and make a difference for kids with autism and the families who love them. Just visit damar.org. Today, that's DAMAR.org. In case you're wondering, it's still 104 degrees outside. Standing ovation for Alyssa Thomas. They put up on the video board that she has had that third consecutive triple-double now. 19 in her WNBA career, 15 in the regular season, 4 in the playoffs. Fans chanting MVP. Mercury ball after the timeout, but Chloe Bibby has a steal. Bibby driving right baseline gets blatantly bumped by Natasha Mack, the starting post player for Phoenix, who remains in the game. Fever barely have anyone available to use right now.
Yeah.
Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Holt, Chloe Bibby, Brianna Turner, and Damiris Dantas.
And again, another 5 that hasn't been on the court together in practice or in the game.
In case you missed it, Sydney Colson out due to injury, suffered back in the first half. Ari McDonald has exited to the locker room in this second half. Lexi Holt, no good from the foul line. Offensive rebound, TD, in and out. It's kind of comical as the Fever trail 85-53 with 2:45 to go in the game. Half-court offense for the Mercury, or the Merc, as the local fans call them. Kit Loxa, left corner 3. What do you think?
It's one of those games.
Actually, Lexi Helds.
Yeah. Oh, this is the hole and held game.
Dantas gets open, right post, banks it in. Held grew up in Kentucky, right across the river from Cincinnati. Played at DePaul. Overseas until this year. Now it's Loxa for 3, and she's fouled by Hull.
Lexi Hull.
It's Lexi Hull, Lexi Held. And I had the opportunity to play against her in Sweden and in Poland. She's tough.
Well, between Lexi Hull, Lexi Held, Sophie Cunningham, and Kit Loxa, they could have a contest to see whose hair is the blondest. First of 3 free throws is good for Loxa from Latvia. 29 years old, her first season in the WNBA. Second is true, 90-55. My goodness. Third one, 91-55. This one's been Mercury wire to wire. Fever were down by 10 at the end of the first quarter. It's only gotten worse as Kelsey lobbing a pass for Dantas out of reach underneath.
2 minutes.
Fever now. How about this? 20 turnovers compared to 21 made shots.
Yeah, that's...
Well, hey. Silver lining, this one counts the same as any other loss.
Yeah,
Turnaround
exactly.
shot for Loxa in front of the foul line. No. Rebound, Bibby to Mitchell, right wing. Pulls up for 3. Same thing. Offensive rebound for Lexi. Reload with Bibby up top to Mitchell, right perimeter. Kelsey on the handles, into the paint, behind the back pass. No one there. Who's it off of? No one touched it for Phoenix, so the Fever now have the same number of turnovers as they have made shots.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of those nights where the ball just will not go into the hoop, but the turnovers is a bit concerning. We got to be able to take care of the ball throughout the game.
Long flight home after this one. Probably with the sun coming up. Lexi gets a steal. Now she's off to the races. And Lexi righty layup. Good. So you have a better taste in the mouth going forward. 91-57 with 65 seconds to play. Lexi had missed her first 10 shot attempts in this game. Contact underneath, and Bibby's called for a foul defending Loxa. Inadvertent trip.
Nope, that was Lexi.
That was Lexi Held again.
Yeah.
Hey, it's radio. No one knew.
My bad.
It's not a shooting situation.
You know?
Got to be more specific again with the Lexis, as each team has one.
Oh, my bad.
So. Held is holding it on the right wing. Bounce pass left elbow. Kalani Brown drive. Dumps it off. Max scores. Right post. 93-57. 45 seconds left here on this Friday morning. And one for Kelsey Mitchell. Carving through defenders. But until that bucket, Kelsey had been 3 for 16 from the floor. And she made, I want to say, 2 of her first 3. So pulled off. 1 free throw on the right side. Couple of dribbles, and it rainbows in. Fever got up to 60. It's 93-60 with 43 seconds left now. Well, again, looking forward, we'll talk more about this postgame. Kelsey almost with cookies against Held at midcourt, halfway through the shot clock. Held now gets loose, drives, and scores. 95-60. We'll talk more about this postgame, but not only is it a 3-game homestand coming up for the Fever, it's against 3 of the 4 worst teams in the league. Kelsey driving, turns it over. Lost control left boulevard. So 23 made shots, 22 turnovers. Shot clock off now for the Mercury. Thought there were a lot of Fever fans here, but admittedly more Mercury fans who get on their feet here as they hold the ball. Held, holding, and that does it. Confetti flying into the crowd here. Final score, Mercury 95, Fever 60. So Indiana now 17-14 on the season. Phoenix improves to 19-11.
You know, that was a tough stretch there. Just shots were just not falling. And then on the opposite side, we saw a lot of shots falling, especially from those ones that would bounce around the rim a couple times, and really started feeling good for the Mercury early on. So tough one here, but now we get to go back home and enjoy, you know, the comfort of our own apartments or homes or wherever the case, our beds, and get some good rest as we're going to start leaving here pretty soon.
Alyssa Thomas with a triple-double for the Mercury. Indeed, she is the first ever player in WNBA history to have 3 consecutive double-doubles. So we got that done. As you know, shout out also to the senior citizen behind us, who I have to be honest, I didn't think could yell that loud, but turns out they can. So, Phoenix celebrates their win. We'll step aside, come back with a little post game, and then Eddie Garrison will have the W's greatest post game show. Extra coverage coming up here on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Hey fans, Sophie Cunningham here. If you have private student loan debt and are behind or even in default, you got to call my friends at YRefi. YRefi refinances private student loans that others won't touch, and they provide you with a custom loan payment based on your ability to pay. And YRefi does not care what your credit score is. Just give them a call at 888-YRefi-34. That's 888-YRefi-34. Or go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
What's the hottest ticket in town? The Indiana Fever. The best way to get there? Indigo. Catch the fever by catching the bus. Indigo's MyKey acts as your fast break pass to experience high-octane Fever basketball, all while avoiding parking fees and traffic jams. Playing your Fever game night with Indigo. Visit indigo.net/how-to-ride to plan your trip and get connected to MyKey. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the game. Indigo, the best way to catch the fever.
Hey, I'm ordering dinner. I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through October 31st, 2025.
This is Sophie Cunningham, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
After spending the first 6 years of her WNBA career in Phoenix, Sophie Cunningham playing at PHX Arena tonight for the first time as a visitor. And the Show Me State native from Missouri showed out 18 points to lead Indiana. She was 6 for 9 from the field, including 5 for 8 from 3. Could have been even better. There was a heat check shot or two in there in the second half, but not nearly enough as the Fever fall tonight 95-60, and their 5th game in 8 days in 5 different cities and 3 different time zones. And Alyssa Thomas finishing with a triple-double for the Mercury, becoming the first player in W history to have a triple-double in 3 games in a row. And her fiance, DeWanna Bonner, former Fever forward for a brief time. 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist for her. So, sets up for a fun rubber match in a little less than a month from now. That'll be back here, the 3rd and final meeting of the season between these teams on September 2nd. In between, though, again, for the Fever, you can flush this one away, fly home tonight, and gear up for facing Chicago Saturday night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games where I wouldn't even expect them to watch film after this one, just to kind of refocus, turn the brain off for a little bit, come back ready to go on Saturday night against Chicago. And like you said, we've got some competition coming up that's towards the bottom of the standings. However, we know in this league, anybody can win at any given night. So it'll be really good to get back in that win column, see if they can get something going offensively, hopefully rest up those injuries and come back stronger, and we'll just take it there.
Well, make sure to bring your kicks on Saturday just in case, because
always got the kicks.
Yeah. And we also like you to wear the sneakers instead of the heels so that you're not taller. That's another conversation. 95-60 loss for the Fever against the Mercury here tonight in Phoenix. Again, thanks if you stayed up late with us. I was powered by iced coffee. Bria's yawning right now.
I know that. And that was my only yawn of the game, too, but it's that time change. I am very much an early bird, so this is way out of my element.
Good news. Scheduled to land in Indy around 5 o'clock here yet this morning. But, yes, 8 o'clock on Saturday. Home sweet Cambridge Fieldhouse. Pre-game coverage will start at 7:45. And then peeking further ahead Tuesday against Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. 7:30. Another national TV game on ESPN. And then a week from tomorrow, or today technically, against the Washington Mystics, also at 7:30. So tickets going fast. Head to feverbasketball.com to be there for the great environment where the Fever have been a winning team on the year. But yeah, still waiting on Caitlin to get back, and then hoping for the best with Sydney Colson leaving tonight with a left leg injury. Ari McDonald left late. You'd hope that Ari's situation may be more precautionary. Mm-hmm. With Sydney, also you hope maybe not as bad as the initial reaction, and hoping for health and the best for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you hate to see it on both sides of the basketball. And we know injuries are a part of the game, but boy, I mean, Sydney, she didn't even have a chance to get loose. She only played a minute, and that's probably a minute and a couple seconds before she went down. And then, like you said, hopefully it's just precautionary for McDonald, as she's been playing at the top of her game as of late. So we just want to continue to lift them up, and hopefully we can get them back.
Second worst shooting performance of the season for the Fever. The only worst one was that midweek matinee clunker against Golden State back on July 9th when they shot 30%, but tonight shooting 34% as a team, 23% from three, even at the line, just 7 of 13. I feel like that kind of exemplifies how this team was just kind of gassed.
Exactly.
So, again, they've been resilient throughout the year. It's a very connected team, so stuff like this happens over the course of a 44-game schedule. Still in the thick of this playoff picture, and needless to say, will be better on Saturday. And actually, in a way, it'll be good to kind of have an edge going into that game against Chicago, because, the Sky are going to have an edge themselves for multiple reasons. For one, they have lost all 3 games against the Fever so far this season, and now the Sky, and they've been playing without Angel Reese of late. They've had a pretty rough go of it, including tonight. They lost at home by 21 against Atlanta, who coincidentally will be the next opponent here for Phoenix, as the Mercury went from a 5-game road trip now, and they're in the middle of a 4-game homestand. So, all right, that'll do it for us here from PHX Arena tonight. Again, a big thanks to our studio producer, Eddie Garrison. We'll have the W's greatest postgame show coming up in a moment, and our sincere appreciation to Walter Ellis, our on-site engineer here tonight. And on this National Purple Heart Day, again, a huge credit to him and everyone who has served and is serving in our nation's military. And thanks to you for tuning in. This edition of W After Dark with the Fever out in Phoenix. Tough one tonight, 95-60, the final against the Mercury. For Bria Goss and everyone else, this is John Nolan saying good night from downtown Phoenix, Arizona.
You've been listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Step back, fire, good! Palin for 3!
This is 93 WIBC's postgame coverage. Indiana blown out tonight in Phoenix, 95-60. Hanging in there early in the first half, and Sophie Cunningham at the end of the second quarter, she bangs up her right ankle that she has had problems with for the majority of this season. Sydney Colson goes down in the first half after playing just a minute. And then it was just pretty much not a good look for Indiana in the third quarter. They only scored 11 points, only 24 in total in the second half. Just not their night, but there are some positives to take away. The West Coast road trip is over. It's the longest road trip of the season for Indiana, and they go 2-2 on the road trip. If you're going out west, and if you ask me leading up to the 4-game road trip, what would you expect them to go, and what would be a nice record? 2-2. All things considered, you're facing a really good Seattle team, and you got to win there. And it was concluding out in Phoenix, that Mercury are going to be a challenge as well. But the fact that the Fever can take 2 games out of this 4-game Western road trip is good, because now you get to go home for 3 games. We'll go back out to Phoenix now. This is where Fever radio analyst Bria Goss joins me. Bria, just kind of to piggyback off that point I just made, if I would have asked you going into the road trip, what would be a realistic record for the Indiana Fever? You would probably take 2-2, no?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially coming out, this is a long stretch. You're playing every other day in different cities. Like, it's a tough situation to be in. And I think we handled ourselves really well, especially at the beginning of that trip, as we just picked up 2 really good games. And we're playing at the top of our about as good, I want to say, about as good as we've played those first couple games. And seeing the not so fresh legs and the fatigue start to kick in was a little unsettling, but coming out being 2-2, there's not a lot to hang your head about.
It feels like as of late, there just has not been the same level of attention and focus for the Indiana Fever and getting Aaliyah Boston involved. Tonight, 4 points, 9 rebounds. If you even go back to that game against Phoenix when she had 22 and 12. She scored 17 of those in the fourth quarter. Right now, it just doesn't feel like that the Fever are trying to get her the ball early in the game to make her much of a factor.
Yeah, and I know there's some credit there due to Phoenix as they throw multiple bodies at her. I mean, every time she touches the ball, there's at least 2, sometimes 3 people on there. And the right play sometimes is to go ahead and kick it out to the open person. If we were hitting threes tonight, that would have had to diminish. And so that would have been able to leave her a lot more open in the post because you couldn't help as much when they're hitting threes.
I know that there were quite a few of injuries sustained tonight for the Indiana Fever, so priority number 1 is get healthy. But over the course of the next several days, in starting this 3-game homestand, what's most important for Indiana?
Yeah, just getting back to Fever basketball, taking care of the ball. There was way too many turnovers today. Winning the rebounding battle. We lost 32-44 today. Getting back, we only had 12 assists. So getting back to Indiana Fever execution on offense and then just being super disruptive on defense and really mucking it up, making it extremely difficult for players to see the light of day. And that just wasn't there tonight, but definitely well within the realm, especially in the home gym.
All right, Bria, in conclusion here, I'm half joking here. Can you suit up, by the way, in a couple days against Chicago for Indiana if they called you?
Listen, okay, I stay ready, so I ain't got to get ready, okay? No, you know what? When my name is called, then you'll be the first to know.
Well, I'm honored that I would be the first call and not your partner that's sitting right there listening to this and John.
Yeah, he would know too. He'd be on the call with me.
John, Bria and John, have a safe flight home, and we'll chat to you next week.
Thanks so much.
That's Bria Goss. She'll have the call with John Nolan coming up against the Chicago Sky. Nathaniel Finch will have you covered on Saturday night. He'll be filling in for me as the Fever kick off a 3-game homestand Saturday night at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. We'll briefly recap this one, take a look inside the box score, look how the Indiana Fever are looking across the WNBA after tonight as well. All that still to come on 93 WIBC's post-game coverage.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. Choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more at the grand opening of the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com.
Cover me! Hey everyone, it's Jake from Payless Liquors. Charlie said sell it, so stop by one of our 26 family-owned locations and stock up with these great deals. Captain Morgan half gallons for $24.99, Evan Williams Black half gallons for $22.99, and Seagram 7 half gallons or Hennessy pints for $19.99. Get Mick Ultra 16-ounce 12-packs for $17.99, Budweiser and Bud Light 16-ounce 12-packs for $13.99, XXL flavored wines for $9.99, and Svedka and Benjamin 50 mils for just 69 cents. Why pay more when you can pay less here at Payless Liquors?
Mark Dietl is the only local real estate agent I'd trust to sell my house here in Indy. By the way, Zillow ranking Indy number 2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Mark Dietl and his team helped Sarah in Fountain Square out. She invested in a property, ran into some financial trouble, and needed to sell the place for max dollars. She hired the Mark Dietl team, and they were able to sell her property within weeks for over list price. Nice work from Team Dietl.
Mark Dietl is the best in the business, and he has the guarantee that backs it up. He guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price or deadline, or he will buy it. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts. That's what separates Mark Dietl. 755-4232 or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
This is 93 WIBC's post-game coverage. Good morning to you. Happy Friday. Hope you have a great Friday and a great weekend for that. I'm Eddie Garrison, and Indiana tonight not victorious in Phoenix against the Mercury, 95-60. It started out all right for Indiana. They were hanging in there, had that feeling that this would be a game that if they could win, it would be one of those not pretty but gritty wins for the Indiana Fever. First quarter, very similar to the game the other night in Los Angeles against the Sparks, where the Fever defense was not great, but the offense did not come out well either in this one compared to 2 nights ago. And after first, it was Phoenix 26, Indiana 16. The Mercury got 23 shots in the first quarter because Indiana turned the ball over 5 times, and they also had 4 offensive rebounds, did Phoenix. So those were 2 areas where Indiana gave them 9 more possessions, and those were some of the things that you can't do when you're on the road, especially when you're facing a Phoenix Mercury team that is top 3 in points allowed off turnovers and second chance points allowed. So you can't give a team extra possessions when they are terrific at limiting extra possessions for their opponent. In the second quarter, Indiana was outscored by 21-20. No real important notes out of that. Sophie Cunningham was pretty much the offense for Indiana. So that is, I guess, the only note to make mention. 12 points in the second quarter for Sophie. 4 of 4 from the floor. 3 of 3 from downtown, and converting her only free throw attempt. That was an and one play. Nice move there too, by the way. Sophie, she broke down the defender, got past her, got to the basket, finished through the contact, and completed the 3-point play at the line. So at halftime, Indiana was down 47-36. Leading all players was Cunningham with those 12 points she scored in the second quarter. Only 2 other players in double figures. Satu Sabali for the Phoenix Mercury had 10, and Alyssa Thomas had 10 as well. And she was on pace for a double-double at halftime, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Now, the third quarter is where it got ugly. For the Indiana Fever, quite frankly. Phoenix, they upped the defensive intensity on Indiana, forced the Fever to turn the ball over 8 times, and they were just relentless on the glass. They doubled the Fever 12-6, and on the glass in the third quarter, they got 4 offensive rebounds. Indiana just did not have much energy. And in that second quarter, Sydney Colson did go down after very minimal time on the floor, exactly 1 minute played. And it was a knee injury. She was unable to put pressure on her left leg and had to be helped to the locker room. We will have to monitor that situation, as the night progresses. I'll have to wait what Stephanie White has to say about her availability going forward. And I'm sure there's going to have to be more testing determine the severity of what Sydney Colson's injury and timeline will look like, because Indiana was already without Caitlin Clark, and Sydney Colson was playing backup point guard minutes with Ari McDonald, and now the Indiana Fever at this point in the game going into the second half, they only had Ari McDonald and Kelsey Mitchell as the 2 guards. Second quarter and the third quarter, that's quite literally what hampered them. And Phoenix recognized it. They were doubling Aaliyah Boston every time she got the ball. They were chasing down Kelsey so she couldn't get off any 3-pointers. And it was just a big old mess in that third quarter. Indiana scored 11 points in the period, and Phoenix put up 26. So they were plus 15 in the third quarter, and they went into the fourth quarter leading 73-47. Alyssa Thomas was 3 assists away from a triple-double. She had 18 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Satu Sabali had 15 points, 7 boards. Off the bench, Tawana Bonner had 14 points and 5 rebounds, though she was very inefficient, 4 of 12 from the field. Sophie Cunningham added 6 more to her tally in the third quarter. She had to come off the bench because she re-aggravated her right ankle injury. In the second quarter, she had to exit in the final minutes. She scored 6 points in the third quarter, bringing her total up to 18 points through 3 quarters for Indiana. And Kelsey Mitchell had 9 points. She was 3 of 13 from the floor. And in the fourth quarter, Ari McDonald exits after 2 minutes. And not really sure what McDonald's injury was tonight. There wasn't an injury report provided. She kind of hobbled her way to the sideline and then went into it was examined by the training staff and went into the locker room and did not return. So we'll have to monitor that situation as well. And so Indiana only has 1 guard right now, and that's Kelsey Mitchell. So they can be on the lookout for Indiana to potentially have a emergency hardship signing, to kind of shore up things on the roster, and it'd be a point guard, or, maybe they sign someone to a 7-day contract. Those are things they have to be looking out for. And make sure you follow the Fever on social medias for all of those latest details. And in the fourth quarter, Phoenix 22, Indiana 13. Primarily the bench players in the game for Indiana. Lexi Hull plays all 10 minutes. Brianna Turner plays 10 minutes. Chloe Bibby and Damaris Dantas plays 6. Kelsey Mitchell plays 7 out of necessity, just because Fever needed bodies. They needed a guard out there on the floor. And in the fourth quarter, Alyssa Thomas did get 3 assists, and quite frankly, it was not a great look in my opinion. I mean, it's almost a 30-point game, and you got your best player on the floor if you're Phoenix just looking to stat pad to get her third consecutive triple-doubles, the first time in WNBA history. But those are my 2 cents on the matter. Final score, Phoenix 95, Indiana 60. Taking a look inside the box score, DeWanna Bonner led all players in scoring. She had 23 points in 24 minutes off the bench. Alyssa Thomas with that triple-double, 18 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. And she is your Payless Liquors player of the game. Get more in Payless Liquors. That is brought to you after each and every game. And look, you can look at every stat that she put up tonight with those 18 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. She also had 3 steals, only turned the ball over once. She was efficient, 8 of 12 from the floor, and she was a team best, plus 32 tonight for the Phoenix Mercury. That's why she is tonight's player of the game, brought to you after every game by Payless Liquors. Get more and pay less at Payless Liquors. The other players in double figures for Phoenix, Satu Sabally had 15 points, 8 rebounds. Clea Copper, 11 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, and 2 steals. Phoenix shot 44%, 34% on threes, 10 of 29, and missed 1 of their 18 foul shots. On the Indiana side of things, not a whole lot worth mentioning. Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell, the only 2 players in double figures. Cunningham with 18 points, Mitchell with 12, and she was a team worst, minus 39. Now, I don't think that's fully telling, considering that Mitchell was on the floor for most of that fourth quarter where they get outscored by 9, and most of the third quarter where they get outscored by 15. So, just not a good night for the Indiana Fever. They have lost back-to-back games. They're 17-14, 8-8 away from Gaybridge Fieldhouse. Phoenix is 19-11. They're 11-4 at home on the season. Indiana goes 2-2 on the West Coast road trip. Looking around the WNBA, 2 other games are going on tonight. The game that was final just as the Indiana Fever were tipping off the Atlanta Dream and the Chicago Sky. 86-65 win for Atlanta. They're 19-11. Chicago 8-22. Alicia Gray with 25 points for Atlanta. Camila Cardoso, standout performance tonight for Chicago. 12.6 rebounds and 4 blocks. No Angel Reese in this one as well, as she continues to remain sidelined with a back injury. The other game that was going alongside the Indiana Fever tonight, the Los Angeles Sparks and the Connecticut Sun at 102-91, and the Sparks continue to roll. They are 14-15 after the 11-point win. Julie Alamond with a triple-double tonight. Congratulations to Alamond, her first career triple-double. She was not the leading scorer for Los Angeles. It was Dearica Hamby with 21 points. Rakia Jackson also had 20. She has been fantastic for Los Angeles since the All-Star break. 20 points now in 5 of the 7 games out of the break for Los Angeles. Alabama, 10 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds tonight for the Los Angeles Sparks. And, of course, Indiana falls to Phoenix 95-60. That's how things stand right now. The WNBA standings. Minnesota remains in first place. They're 25-5. New York in second. They're 5.5 games behind Minnesota, 19-10. Half a game behind them is Atlanta and Phoenix. Both those teams are 19-11. Indiana now 2.5 back out of those 2 teams, the Mercury and the Dream, for third place at 17-14. They have a half game lead right now in the head-to-head advantage over Seattle. They have a win up on the Storm, and they both have 14 losses. The same with the Las Vegas Aces, and then Golden State Valkyries are in 7th right now, with the Los Angeles Sparks at 14-15. Next up for the Indiana Fever on Saturday, it will be the Chicago Sky, 8 o'clock. Second game of that 3-game homestand comes against the Dallas Wings. That will be on Tuesday at 7:30, and they will conclude the homestand a week from now on Friday against the Washington Mystics. That game will be at 7:30. You can purchase your tickets by going to feverbasketball.com/tickets. Pre-game coverage on Saturday will start at 7:45 with Nathaniel Finch on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. This will wrap up our post-game coverage. I'm Eddie Garrison. Final score tonight, Phoenix 95, Indiana 60. Have a great rest of your Friday, and thank you for listening to Indiana Fever post-game coverage right here on 93 WIBC.
Hey everyone, it's Jake from Payless Liquors. Charlie said sell it, so stop by one of our 26 family-owned locations and stock up with these great deals. Captain Morgan half gallons for $24.99, Evan Williams Black half gallons for $22.99, and Seagram 7 half gallons or Hennessy pints for $19.99. Gimmick Ultra 16-ounce 12 packs for $17.99, Budweiser and Bud Light 16-ounce 12 packs for $13.99, XXL flavored wines for $9.99, and Svedka and Benjamin 50 mils for just 69 cents. Why pay more when you can pay less here at Payless Liquors?
Did you know up to 50% of outdoor water use is wasted? And did you know that there are things you can do to help change that? Indiana American Water suggests that you water early or late in the day to reduce evaporation. Also, be sure to fix any leaks and skip watering when rain is in the forecast. Consider rain barrels, mulch your garden, and use drip irrigation for your plants. Be water wise. Conserve today, sustain tomorrow. Find more conservation tips at Indiana American Water's Wise Water Use Resources at indianaamwater.com.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. Choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more at the grand opening of the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com.
Cover me! You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Tabulated everything, counted everything, and they realized the error. They actually admitted that there was an error. They acknowledged that 14 states had significant miscounts on that 2020 census. And I'm going to read what these states were, and this was in a piece from The Hill back in 2022. You just tell me if something sticks out to you. Okay. So the overcounted, like significantly overcounted states were Hawaii, Delaware, Rhode Island, Minnesota, New York, Massachusetts. Now, the significantly undercounted states were Texas, Florida, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas.
I do notice.
Is there
some contrast there?
Yeah.
It seems like the ones that were undercounted were the Republican ones, the red states, and the ones that were overcounted, meaning additional unearned seats, were Democrat-run states.
I think you would be correct, Kane.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think you would be correct. Yes. So weird how that happened, isn't it? So weird.
I'm sure it's coincidental, right?
Yeah.
Like all the errors.
Entirely.
Were in the census blunder.
Entirely, yes.
Probably went evenly, right? The blunder may have leaned left a little and also leaned right.
No, it didn't really. No, you have like these states that were overcounted that have more seats that are disproportionate to their actual population than some of these others.
Wait a minute. So the blunder, this mistake that was made, all the favor of that mistake leaned on the left side of the aisle.
It's so weird how that happens.
It was just a mistake, though, right? It was just
a
blunder.
Just a blunder. Yeah, just
interesting how that works.
Yeah, just a blunder. So, I'm just saying, there's I feel like, because it was Biden's own Census Bureau that admitted this. Biden's own Census Bureau that admitted there was a mistake. So, why wouldn't people want things to be correct or accurate? I'm just curious. Why wouldn't they why wouldn't they want these things to be accurate? I don't know. It's
I just
really
think
crazy.
you're a fan of gerrymandering, and you don't know what you're talking about. It's just what it is.
I'm just saying. They're going to get upset about it, and I don't care. Just like they're upset about the gerrymandering that happened when they were deciding things in Texas, and then that gets corrected. It got corrected in Florida and Maryland, kind of. North Carolina, kind of. So we'll see. But the blunder, though, that they wrote, this is what they wrote. This was June 1st, 2022. Census blunder may tip 2024 to Democrats. Now, if you don't get this fixed, and this continues where you're including illegal aliens in this count, what is the effect that that's going to have in 2028? And like I said, we talked about this at the start of the show. I just don't know if that's something they're going to be able to correct in time, because it's a big process. I just don't know if that's going to be something that they actually, correct in enough time. This is a crazy headline. Young male college grads are now jobless at the same rate as non-grads. This is a story from Financial Times. The unemployment rate amongst U.S. men and women aged 22 through 27 by education level. And there is a serious issue here. Wow. I mean, and the men and women, I was looking to see about the gender gap, and actually what I'm reading is that it's not that different. It doesn't matter. Like, it shows men and women. I mean, women maybe have a slight little bitty bit advantage, and that's it. But I think that these degrees, I don't think that you need to go to college and get a degree for anything except if you're going into medicine, law, maybe some engineering. Otherwise, I don't see the point of it. It's so stupid. It's a racket. It is such a racket. It is such a racket. And it's our problem as a society for using it as, like a social circuit. Like, we use colleges like a social circuit. So many, I see, especially if you're going into if you need a degree, if you're going into medicine, you're going into law, having connections and knowing these professors. And I get where that can also be a benefit, but we don't have to, not every skill set requires that. But we use it as, oh, well, where's your kid going? Oh, they're going here, XYZ. Oh, they're in this sorority or this fraternity. It's used in place of, like, the social circuit that back in the days of yore we used to have, right? Where you would have, oh, that's in season and everybody goes to the city and they all go to this. It's just a whole, I don't know. I could go on about this for some time, but the Financial Times looked at this. They said that the unemployment rate among recent college grads is on the rise, and it's rising pretty steadily. It still is lower than all young workers between 22 and 27. But now men who have a college degree have about the same unemployment rate as men who didn't go to college. Now, in comparison, they note around 2010, non-college educated men they had unemployment at over 15%, whereas the rate amongst college grads was closer to 7%. Well, now that discrepancy that difference is gone. And the job market boost that always advertised, for a job, if you had a degree, that's gone. Because I don't think people care about credentials as much anymore as I see different jobs. Like, if I'm out somewhere, maybe you'll see like, oh, we're hiring, you have to a sign somewhere and they're like, you have to have I'm just like, you're asking for a degree for a job that doesn't need one. You're a stupid employer. You're an idiot. Like, what is that? And because Democrats decided to consolidate and control all student loans, they have made it so expensive and inaccessible for people to actually even go to college. You got to be rich almost to go to college anymore. I mean, you can't even compete and get the scholarships and grants if you tried to, especially if you're just like a white suburban kid, you're SOL. It's true. So I don't know. I feel bad for these generations because it doesn't look like it's improving. And so now you have these diverging, it's not even that divergent, men and women. I mean, it's really hitting men as well. A lot of Gen Z guys are skipping college and they're going into the skilled trade industry. That's something that AI is not going to be able to take over, skilled trades. So there's some protection there. So those trades, those jobs are male dominated. They said enrollment at 2-year vocational schools has increased 20% since 2020. That's almost 1 million additional students. And vocational careers that people were really snotty and looked down on. Well, guess what? Those are going to be the ones that AI can't take over. You all screwed yourselves. All those, there was just this like snotty attitude, I think, that propelled the whole collegiate thing and made everyone discount skilled trades and go into bureaucracy, for the lack of a better way to put it. Don't you agree? And now look who's having the last laugh. Look who is having the last laugh. And they should, because they deserve it. They earned it. Those trades, that's honestly that's going to be the only place where you're really protected. That's going to be the only place where you're protected. So they said carpenters, mechanics, they're going to start paying even better than they are now. They're paying really well now. They're going to start even paying better than that. All these skilled trades. This is something that's like it seems like that's the last refuge when AI really, really gets its stride. Those things you can't take over. You know what? You want to know what the college aptitude or the aptitude test I took in high school told me I should be a mechanic or a lawyer. I took it 3 times and I got the same thing every time. A car mechanic or a lawyer. Yeah. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, they're so different though, but there's like some kind of common denominator, I'm sure, in that. Yeah. Every single time I got it.
I think there's some details in mechanics that you need a brain for those details, just like you would for law. So
yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah. I took it as a freshman, a junior, and a senior. I don't know why I didn't take it my sophomore year. You really only need to take it once, but I kept thinking maybe there's something that'll show me. I didn't believe it the first time. But yeah, that's when I was like, that is actually very interesting. There is something in there that's,
I'm going to buy a $500 junker car for the show and we're going to work on it. It'll be good.
Well, I want to make it into some Mad Max thing.
Oh, you don't have to twist my arm.
And, I would also because I do have a 50 cal and I would love to be able to just put it on a sliding rack where you kick the door open and it just shoop and you're out ready to rock.
Twisting needed.
Pretty sure it's straight legal, right? All right, we got more on the way. We got Today's Stupidity coming up as we move. Our partners that help bring you the program. It's our friends over at Patriot Mobile, the only Christian conservative cell phone service in the country. Patriot Mobile not only wants to save you money, but they also want to make sure that you stay connected. Nationwide coverage you can trust. They operate on all 3 major networks, so you stay connected wherever it is that you go. They have plans tailored for singles, families, businesses of all sizes, doesn't matter. And they also provide coverage on all 3 major networks, like I said. In addition to that, they have a 100% US-based customer service team. They can make it easy for you to switch. You don't even have to go into the store. You don't have to go into the store. You can stay home. It's so easy to switch. No store visits, no hassles. It takes minutes. And if you want to keep your number and keep your phone or get entirely new everything, it's up to you. They will activate you within minutes. And they also support the issues that you vote to protect every time you're at the ballot box. Visit patriotmobile.com/Dana or call 972-PATRIOT and get that free month of service using promo code Dana. Switch today and defend freedom with every call and text you make. That's patriotmobile.com/Dana, 972-PATRIOT.
You hear that? That's the sound of uncertainty lurking under your hood. You know the feeling. I know I do. That sudden sinking sensation when you see a check engine light or your car unexpectedly breaks down and you're faced with sky-high repair bills. It's time to shield against unexpected repairs with CarShield. CarShield is America's most trusted auto protection company and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Don't let the fear of a breakdown keep you up at night. Trust the Shield, CarShield, and say goodbye to terrifying repair bills and hello to peace of mind. Your plan also comes with 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental car options, and so much more. Don't wait till it's too late. Call CarShield now before a breakdown. Protect your wallet. Protect your car with CarShield. Get our best protection ever. Call now. You'll thank me later. 800-915-8003. 800-915-8003. That's 800-915-8003.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RUN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RUN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RUN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Mike loves summer in Indy, but he hates to paint, so he called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received postcards from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Way better than paint, backed by a 25-year warranty. And right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced. We save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Why do so many foundation, basement, and crawl space companies ask for half your money up front? Could it be because that's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they believe trust is earned, not demanded. That's why they do things differently. They start with a free inspection, no strings attached, to give you an honest assessment of what your home needs. No pressure, no surprises. When it's time for the work, they don't ask for a deposit or any upfront payment. Not a single dollar until the job is complete and you're 100% satisfied. That's how they've been earning trust for over 39 years. Whether it's sagging floors, moisture control, concrete repair, or a full crawl space encapsulation, you can count on Michaelis for repairs that last. Don't trust just anyone with your home. Choose the company that puts your trust first. Text or call 844-FIXED-INDY today. That's 844-FIXED-INDY. The Michaelis Corporation, building trust beneath your feet.
Why? Why take a chance? Why risk a mistake? Why say something? We all have reasons why we choose to ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right. The word why can either paralyze us or empower us to stand up and protect what we love. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my family.
I see safe for my friends.
I see safe for my students.
We see safe for each other.
I see safe because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies this community we're all a part of. So protect your everyday. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
Subscribe to the Dana Show podcast, because who says you can't make fun of people while staying informed on your own personal time? Subscribe on YouTube, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast.
A leisurely walk in the woods is no longer allowed in Nova Scotia, and it may not be for the rest of the summer.
Effective 4 p.m. today, we're telling Nova Scotians, stay out of the woods.
Nova Scotia's premier announced today a ban on activities in the forest because of extreme dry conditions and the risk of wildfires.
Hiking, camping, fishing, and the use of vehicles in the woods are not permitted. Trail systems through woods are off limits.
At these walking trails in the heart of Sydney, some agreed with the move, while others didn't.
As long as you're not starting a fire or smoking,
that kind of thing, you should be able to walk there.
It kind of sucks for the campers and anybody out tenting, but it's probably necessary.
Out camping. Golly, that's Canadian. Out camping. So they can't camp. They can't do anything because they don't trust their people to not start fires. Is that what it is? That is the goofiest thing. So the woods are banned. The woods are closed in Nova Scotia. I feel like I'm watching a Shoresy episode. The woods are closed.
The moose out front.
Yeah. Go give your a tug. That's what he says. It's a famous line from the series. Oh my gosh. So, they said that. I can't read any of this actually now without having the Canadian accent in my head. We've had about 100 wildfires this season. They've all been small and put out quickly. But that could change in a heartbeat, they said. That's Tory Rushton, the Minister of Natural Resources. It almost sounds Irish, Scottish, almost like something. There's something in there.
Everybody who is a Nova Scotian, that's what you say, right? That's what you call them?
Mm-hmm.
People from Nova Scotia.
Nova
Scotian. I would trust them out in the woods more than I would any of these government officials putting rules on those people.
Look, I don't camp, and I make fun of it because I always say that I don't want to pretend to be homeless. We invented the house, as a people. But you don't mess with campers. Okay. You don't. Those are the people that I'm like, if they're going to go into the woods, the campers, they get to go because those are people who are like, we love being out here with no toilet and not having hot water unless we love it. Those people are for that. Okay. If there's anybody that I trust out there, it's those people. They know what they're doing. I mean, all of this stuff, it's always been firebugs that go out and do this stuff. That's what we learned in the Palisades thing. I mean, my gosh, they were literally catching people red-handed.
It's the same here. It's not the law-abiding people doing the problems and the harm. Yet these laws they put out there restrict the movements and the abilities and freedoms of
and
these
the people who love to go camping. I have family and I have some dear friends that, God love them. They're just like, yeah, we're just going to go spend the night outside randomly, a Friday night. We'll be like, hey, do you guys want to go to dinner? Well, we're going to go be outside. We're sleep outside, like the homeless for tonight. They have like their camping places that they go, right? I'm like, okay, more power to you. And I've got, we got friends that do all that. And I love those people because I trust them out there and they care about it. They're like, they know how to do their fires. They know how to clean up. They literally have like their protocol that they follow. And they're hardcore. I love it. They're not hurt nobody. But because you got some people that are stooges, now the woods are closed in Nova Scotia. You can't be out in a boot. They're closed. Oh my gosh. They just don't allow anything there. It's summer. Because what are your temperatures up there? Maybe some warmth for a month and then freezing. Everything else is freezing. Like the one time of the year where it's nice to go out. And there's just so stupid. That's just not the way to do it. How much you want to bet? There's going to be a wildfire still. Oh, it's not going to be from any of them people. Yeah.
Sure there will be.
All right.
And by the way, maple syrup, that's where it's in the woods. That's where you get maple syrup.
That's right. No more maple syrup. All right. We got,